Hey everyone, welcome to another lecture. And in this lecture today, we are going to talk about resetting the password of the user that have account in our application. Okay, so let's say user come into our application and they forgot their password. Then we should let them an option to create, an option to reset the password, right? So that he can, verify that he is the user. And so first he will identify himself by using the email address, and then we will send the password reset email to that particular address. So we don't need to do anything. Firebase handle everything for us. All we have to do is provide the email address. So let's go ahead and create the interface for that. So in the login page here, I'm going to add one more button that says forget password. Okay, so let me drag and drop one button here and fix its constraint. And right now here we are not focusing on any of the UI, so I'm just going to add this button right here. But if you want to make it pretty, you can go ahead and do that. Okay, but I'm not going to focus on that because that is just a waste of time. What we are really trying to learn here is the backend part of the process, how everything works. Okay, so let me give the ID for this button. Forget password button is the ID. Let me refactor it. Okay, so let's change the text to forget password, and let me fix some of the constraint here. Okay, just like that. Now what I want to do here is, whenever user click on this, I'm going to open one pop-up here, alert dialog, and in that alert dialog user can enter his email address, and when he does that, we will send the password reset email. And if the email does not exist or the email is not found in our database, then we will display the error message. So let's go to login.java here and create one more variable for the button. Okay, let me set the layout resources here, and the variable name is forget password button, and find view by id r.id dot forget password button is the ID of our button that we have just created, right? So now I'm going to handle the click on this button. So just using set on click listener, we can handle the click on that button, as you know. So now here we will start the alert dialog whenever user click on that button. Okay, so let's go and create the new alert dialog here. So alert dialog dot builder. Okay, and let me give the name as reset alert. Okay, and now let's create new alert dialog dot builder, and we need to pass the current context. So get application context should do the job. Okay, now we can initialize this alert dialog. So now we can add the title and content and the other thing that we need in this dialog. So reset alert dot set title, and I'm going to give the title as reset forget password. Okay, and now I'm going to give the message as well, and the message says enter your email to reset to get password reset link. Okay, because we are going to display the edit text where user can enter the his email address. Okay, so now let's go ahead and add the button for our dialog so that user can either proceed with the reset password or he can cancel the operation. So set positive button, here we say reset, and we will add the on click listener on that as well, because whenever user click on reset, we will validate the email address and we will send the message, we will send the reset link to that particular email address. Okay, so don't get confused, you'll understand it clearly once we implement that. So for now, let's go with that. New dialog interface listener, and inside this we will first validate the email address, and then we will send the reset link. Okay, we'll do that later, but for now let's add one more button, that is negative button. So here dot add set negative button. Negative means that means it's going if user wants to cancel the operation, he can just click on that and we will pass the null here. Okay, and now finally we will create the alert dialog and we will show this to the user. Okay, so just for the demo purpose, let's go ahead and run this application and see how this all look like. So run this application here and we are at the dashboard, so I'm gonna log out. Now we have this button, forget password. Now I'm gonna click on this and the app crashes. So let's see what happened here. So let's go here and debug this application. Let's open the app again and click on forget password, and it says that we need to use a theme with this activity. Okay guys, so the problem is that because I have created this alert dialog inside this on-click view, so it is kind of conflicting. So because of that, it is not displaying that alert dialog because it might be using different theme. So what we can do for the solution is, I'm just going to copy this from here. Okay, I'm just cut that and create one more global variable here. So alert dialog.builder and name is reset alert, and I'm going to initialize that here, and I'm going to just remove this. Okay, and now I'm going to change this to this. So this alert dialog is going to extend the app compat activity. That means it's going to have the correct theme. Okay, so we should not have that problem. So now let's go ahead and run this again and see if this is going to work. And click on forget password, and you can see we have this title, message, and positive and negative button. But the thing is, we don't have the field to enter the email address. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to create a custom view for this alert dialog and apply that here. Okay, so let's go here in layout, create let's go create layout resource file and name it as reset pop. Okay, that's fine, you can give any name anyway. So now here I'm going to add one more email field. This is edit text field. If you remember, we have used this in login and registration activity as well. So let me set the constraint on the other side, make it match constraint, and I want to give the ID as reset email pop. Okay, because we're gonna need that ID, and I'm also going to give the hint. Okay, and now let's go here in our login.java file and apply that view to this alert dialog. So let me go here and create layout inflator variable, layout inflator. I'm gonna give the name as inflator, and now just after this I'm going to initialize that. So inflator, and I'm going to use this dot get main inflator. Okay, now I can use this inflator variable to inflate the view that we have created. So let's go here inside this and create a view. Okay, and now I'm going to use inflator that we have here to inflate our resources, layout resources that we have just created, and that is present inside the layout directory and called as reset pop, and everything else is null. We don't need to pass anything else here. Now I'm going to set this view to this alert dialog. So here, just after this, before creating the view, I'm going to set the view. Okay, and set the view here like that. Okay, now let's run this again and we should see that email field. Okay, app is running. Click on forget password. Now we have this field to enter the email address. Okay, if I click on cancel, it's going to cancel it. Let's go here and extract the email address, validate that, and send the reset email. Okay, email link. So here I'm going to create edit text variable called email, and I'm going to use view to get find viewer ID, because now since we are using this view, and that view is inflating this reset pop layout here, so we need to reference anything that is present inside this reset pop through the view that we have created, that is view in our case. So that's why I'm using view.find viewer ID. Now I can call the reset email pop field. Okay, now I'm gonna check if the email address is empty or not. Okay, so get text the toString and is empty, and if that is empty, we'll just set the error. So email dot set error required field. Okay, and we'll just return this. And if this case is passed, that means we have the email address. Now we can go ahead and send the reset link. Okay, now to send the reset link, we need the instance of Firebase authentication. So similarly, I'm going to create the Firebase user here, and by referencing Firebase authentication class, I can get the instance and get the current user. Okay, I can do this as well, that is not a problem, but the good practice is to initialize this inside this on create. So I'm gonna do that. But we do have this Firebase auth here, right? So actually we don't need to create this. So what I'm gonna do is just going to create this variable here, and I'm gonna reference this Firebase auth dot get current user. Okay, now we can use this user variable to send the reset link. Okay, come here, user dot send, but okay, so there is one problem here. I can't reference to the current user because the user is not logged in. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to actually don't need this Firebase user at all, so I'm going to delete it, and I will just directly reference this Firebase auth here, and here instead of using user, I'm going to use the Firebase auth, and now I can send password reset email, and here I need to pass the correct email address, that is we already have. So email dot, and email is actually object, so let me convert that to the string. Okay, now I will add the listener, on success listener, and on failure listener as well, so that we can display, so that we'll be able to display the message to the user if the operation is success or failed. So new on failure listener. Now if the email is correct, the email provided by user is correct, then we will send the email address, we will send the reset email link to that particular email address, and we will display the message reset email sent. Okay, so this is the message that I want to show to the user, and in another case we will just display the error message that we get. So e.get message. Okay, now our this reset password dialog is ready. Let's go ahead and run this. Okay, now we are logged out, and I'm clicking forget password. Now I'm going to give this some dummy, I'm gonna give some dummy email address just to check. Okay, let's see what happens. And it says there is no user present. Okay, so we need to provide, user must provide the correct email address. So let me send one. small7@gmail.com is the email address, right? If you remember. Now click on reset, and it said the reset email is sent, right? So let's go to the Gmail and see if we get that email. Okay, we got the reset email from the Firebase. Click on that. Now I'm going to reset our password. If you remember, previously in the last lecture I changed the password to 234567. Now I'm going to change that to I don't know, 5678. Okay, so 56789. Okay, because we need to give the password of length 6 or more. So 67899 is the password. Okay, let me show you. 567899. Okay, let's save it. Now password changed. Now let's go back to our app here and try to log in with the old password. This is our email. Password was 234567. Let me try and log in. It says the password is invalid. Now let's go and try to log in with new password, that is 567899. Now log in and it should work. Yes. So now we are at the dashboard. So this is it for this lecture. Now in the next lecture we will talk about how to update the email address of the user. So I will see you there.